What's going on, world? Thank you so much for tuning back into another one of my videos. I just got done recording some tips for surviving in a bear market and had the inspiration to try something new. And this is just going to be like a more open-ended type of thing where something that I like to do is use ChatGPT when I think about a concept or come across a certain topic and go back and forth with it to kind of expand the topic and just for it to kind of give me a better overall understanding of things. I used to like to do this with certain people, but I realized that sometimes these topics could be too much for a lot of people, and a lot of people don't like to go that deep or choose not to care or think I'm just way over and ahead of myself. But I have a feeling that there is somebody out there who thinks like this, at least one person who thinks like this and who would benefit from this. So I'm going to try this out. So bear with me, be patient. I'm learning this as I go, but we're going to go ahead and do it. And the topic for this one is whether we like it or not. The times are changing. This isn't going to be about motivation, but it's going to be actual reality. We're in a transition where old systems aren't disappearing overnight, but they're losing dominance. The world is moving towards ideas, attention, and systems. This topic came about because I was thinking about how we're really full board transitioning into the digital age. And you guys know I'm into crypto, and I kind of understand, and the way I see it is that that's going to be like the foundation layer of how the energy is going to be captured and transferred around the world. To me, this transition into the digital age is so obvious to the point where I'm doing things like this, creating YouTube videos where I'm understanding the importance of having intellectual property, where before we had to gain value and extract value through jobs and different things like that. We are now able to use tools like YouTube and other platforms out there, places where you could go ahead and place your intellectual property and allow it to be built on systems or systems that you create in ways that future generations will get to benefit from. It really got me thinking because in the past you could have worked multiple jobs or huddled up with different people, which that's still a play today, but it's just slowly fizzing out, especially with the fact that a lot of jobs are dying out and there's certain sectors that are flourishing right now. So building a means to generational wealth and setting your kids up for success is becoming harder and harder to do through manual labor like that, unless if you're very skilled in one particular aspect. I am realizing that the way for the masses to do this is to get ahead of it now and start using things and these tools like ChatGPT, YouTube, and these kind of things to set our future bloodline up for success the best way possible. I believe that for us right now who aren't taking advantage of this and who aren't in a position to have millions and millions of dollars worth of assets to pass down to future generations, our kids' will be asking, what were we doing in this day and age that we weren't either creating YouTube videos or leveraging YouTube in some way, leveraging all these social media platforms, leveraging these AI systems, soon to come these robots and all this other stuff. Why weren't we doing it? Like, what were we doing? And I refuse to be the one to have to sit in my grave or have my grandkids think about he was out chasing a job in order to create a life for himself. The math just isn't mathing at this point. Yes, there's still different ways you can double up on jobs, or you and your wife or you and a couple of friends could team up and set yourself up for success in that way. But from an individual standpoint, it's getting harder and harder and harder to build wealth that way. Like I said before, unless if you have like a skilled job, people who are able to cut hair nicely, plumbers, HVAC, you have different tech jobs and stuff that are in high demand. Those are still doing well and those are still places to get ahead. But for the average everyday person, we have to start looking at the systems and the direction humans as a whole are going, and we have to start adapting to it. And to expand on the topic of the world moving more towards ideas and attention and systems, we're living in an interesting time because the fact that we're able to document and capture ideas and put them on things like timelines and things like that, that's a very interesting concept that was never there before for the masses to take advantage of. Literally anybody from age 0 to the day you die can capture a moment in time and put it out there for the world to be documented as long as we have these systems set up. And we are seeing different companies out there like Zora and different things like that where the term tokenization has been being thrown around a lot. And we're coming to a point in humanity where I can come up with an idea and instantly that idea could be worth a certain amount of value. It could be pegged to a certain dollar amount, to a certain Bitcoin amount, to a certain whatever, just the idea itself. And the fact that I documented it on whatever platform or platforms that are going after this concept of documenting these things. And at this point, it's no longer an option. We have to learn to coexist with this digital world. You're either building leverage or you're slowly falling behind. It's pretty obvious to me that this digital age is setting a foundational layer right now that a lot of things are already being built upon. And it's our duty to lock in on how we can really leverage this time and this space that we're about to go into. And another point that came up is that relevance is becoming the new currency. Relevance isn't about fame, it's about usefulness and visibility. Being known for something is more valuable than being unknown with potential. Digital relevance compounds when paired with consistency. Let's go back to the second point. Being known for something is more valuable than being unknown with potential. What does that mean? That means exactly what I'm doing here. I'm gonna share an example with you. I still do for fun, but I was really big into making beats and instrumentals. And I had created a YouTube channel back in 2011, and I was not that good at making music back then, but I probably had like 20 beats that I had put on YouTube. Never did it. Probably altogether till this day, they probably only had like 100 views altogether. But fast forward to 2022, so almost 10 years later, I had somebody reach out to me completely randomly and was like, hey, I'm about to work on my mixtape and I would really like for you to work on it for me and create all the beats for me. And I asked him like, why did you choose me? How did you find me? And I wasn't promoting at this time either, but he was like, he used to listen to my YouTube channel back in 2010 and has listened to those same beats up until now. And he loved those beats so much, even though collectively all those beats had like 100 views. Maybe he accounted for like 80% of them. But that was a moment in time when I made something back in 2010 or 2011. And then fast forward almost 10 years later, somebody reached out to me and paid me $1,000 to make a few songs for him, just a couple of instrumentals, which is like that concept of capturing an idea in a moment in time. So the fact that I made beats back then and I planted that seed allowed me to make $1,000 10 years later. I could have easily not have posted those videos and scrapped it and said, I did not need these right now. No, nobody likes them and they're not good. But the fact that I just put them out there and let them do what they did, it resonated with one person who ended up paying me $1,000 for something that I did 10 years ago that I completely forgot. I didn't even know those beats still existed. This is what I mean, that we're transitioning to a digital age where putting things out there is going to no longer be an option in order to survive and to get ahead. That was just one example of something that I did 10 years ago, but I even think about it with what I'm doing now with shooting these videos. Yes, I only have 34 subscribers today, but though I'm speaking to 34 people today, there's no telling 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, how many people might resonate with this one message that I'm giving you today. So I find it as my duty to go ahead and put this out there because I have this IP and I have the ability to do this now. It's like, why not? The opportunity cost is the time that I have available right now. And the question would be, what else could I be doing with this time? Yes, there's a lot that I could be doing, but for me personally, this is a good use of my time and I'm actually enjoying building this skill. And that transitions us to this next point. Generational influence will belong to builders, not the loudest, not the luckiest. The ones who document their thinking, the ones who turn experience into frameworks, the ones who own distribution instead of renting attention forever. Let that one sink in. How many of us rent attention? But talking about generational influence though, imagine now that I've decided to stick with this topic of building a community around building legacy, generational wealth, power, community, and growth. And I spread that net wide into that topic and dig as deep as possible into it. As long as I'm positioning myself the best way possible, as far as like putting myself on multiple platforms, potentially creating my own platform once I get there and I get big enough for that. This data, these words, this influence that I have in this moment in time is going to hold a lot of value in the future. It's hard to see it now because we feel like we have the ability to have an abundance of time for some reason, like we're guaranteed tomorrow, but there will be a point in time where we can capture and understand on a tangible level that we can allocate a certain value to down to the millisecond for every individual in every scenario in every situation. It seems very far-fetched today because we're way in front of it, but I truly believe in some point in the future we will be able to document Jay Elu's hour that he's spending in front of this camera right now. Right now it may not be worth nothing to a lot of people, but depending on how the future goes, and somebody or groups of people take heed to this conversation that I'm having today in 2026, and if this does come to fruition in 2040, 2050, or whenever it does, and then a group of people say, wow, this guy was actually talking about this years ago, way before the time, and blows it up, this video that I made in 2026 might be worth millions and millions of dollars down the line. So it's my job to understand that if I were to die after this message is out, how do I position my future bloodline to capture that value way after I'm gone? And the way the current system's set up now, if I create this and I pass away, I'm not sure how that all plays out as far as like my YouTube page or whatever, but I'm sure I could put people's names and stuff into it once I get to that level or once I start doing it now. But it is something that's going to be more prevalent where it's going to create opportunities where you could be, I don't know if it would be a lawyer or some type of expert who understands how to collect IP and distribute it and put it under something like a trust or whatever for your future generations. There are a lot of other points on here that I could talk about. Like I said, I'm trying something new. Don't want to overdo this one for the first video. Please leave me some feedback on this one. I actually really enjoy doing this. I feel like I'm actually talking to somebody who's going to understand this and who's going to want to dialogue back and forth with me about this instead of just getting blank stares and having stuff go over people's heads. So please go ahead and communicate back and forth with me with that. But the last thing I'll leave you with is just to start where you are. Start that YouTube channel. Start sharing what you're learning and what you're thinking or your perspective for what you see in the world. Start building in public. Start stacking digital bricks daily. So just overall, just have that mindset of building and understanding that there's a digital infrastructure that's being laid out brick by brick right before our eyes. Every day that we communicate in life, everybody that we communicate to in life, every day that we go to work, every show that we watch, every website that we log into, all the data points that is constantly being tracked and being collected on us, all that is laying a foundation for the future. So just remember that and just tap in. And like I said, I'm no expert. I'm just a guy whose mind just keeps going deep and keeps expanding far and far and far. It just got to the point where I feel like I have to share with the world, and I want to share with the world and start building this community. So, like always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment below on what you would like to see. Go ahead and talk about something you heard about this video, or if it's something that you've thought about. And even if you've thought about a layer deeper and you can share that, go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and build this community. And as I start to get more comfortable with different formats and the different stuff that I'm experimenting with, I'll go ahead and tidy up exactly how I'm doing it and what I'm doing. So just be patient with me on that front. Really appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay tuned for the next video. That's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much. Have a good one. Peace out.